Let's keep talking about impeachment a little bit. Democrats are starting to speak out against Nancy Pelosi and to sort of break with her on the issue of starting impeachment proceedings against Donald Trump. And it's getting really interesting, and it could actually get very damaging for Democrats. And I'll tell you about that and how that would work in a few minutes. If you haven't been following, Nancy Pelosi has been very reticent to take impeachment hearings sort of seriously, even saying a couple of times that Democrats shouldn't go down that path because it divides the country, that Trump is, quote, not worth it in terms of even bothering to impeach him. And the question more and more is that it's not a matter of Trump being worth it. For me, it's a question of whether the country is worth it in terms of what Trump has done and what the correct consequences would be for that. So in any case, as I told you yesterday, talk of impeachment among high-profile Democrats is growing pretty quickly. Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris have both said that they support starting the impeachment process against Donald Trump. There are more and more prominent Democrats who have been saying in interviews that Donald Trump has certainly committed impeachable offenses. And now the disagreement between these prominent Democrats and Nancy Pelosi has gone beyond what it was before, which was really, I don't want to insult anybody, but more obscure or less well-known Democrats. You had, Al Green try to actually start impeachment proceedings on the floor of the House. You've got Elizabeth Warren now. You've got Elijah Cummings talking about, if not now, when, how and when will Trump face consequences. Jerry Nadler and Adam Schiff hinting more and more at impeachment would at least be justified, if not the next thing that we want to do. Impeachment would be really difficult to actually see through to the removal of the President of the United States. It's a long process, but there are two ways that this impeachment thing could go without the successful removal of Trump. And Democrats need to make sure they're not on the wrong side of it. Okay, so for the important discussion here for me is not, can Trump be removed via impeachment? Right now, the answer is very clearly no. You need Republicans to do that. Republicans are completely unwilling. 30% of the country is an immutable, unchangeable base for Donald Trump. I call them the shoot someone on Fifth Avenue crowd. So there are really political considerations here, and Democrats could be on one side or they could end up on the other. One path for Democrats is Democrats just keep arguing and being divided about this issue of impeachment, and they hurt themselves by getting into very public disagreements about impeachment, and it ends up hurting them in 2020. That's bad, okay? Democrats need to avoid that. The other path is that Democrats say, at a minimum, we're going to have a floor debate about impeachment, okay? We want to start floor debate about whether impeachment proceedings should start against the President of the United States. They are united on the debate, and the content of the debates becomes newsworthy, and they make impeachment a political problem for Trump in the campaign, okay? If you ask me which I prefer, it's obvious which is better. Democrats arguing about impeachment and hurting themselves, or Democrats uniting and saying the evidence justifies a floor debate about impeachment. Let's at least start that and see if the way that it is picked up in media and the way that Donald Trump reacts hurts Trump, makes this a burden for Trump for the 2020 election. When Bill Clinton lied about oral sex, Republicans were united. You had every sort of echelon with some very minor holdouts saying, this is the right thing, this is what we've got to do, here's why it's justified. They didn't succeed obviously, in removing Bill Clinton, but they not only had the debate and were united, they actually filed articles of impeachment against Bill Clinton. We now have a president whose egregious behavior exceeds Bill Clinton lying about oral sex by leaps and bounds. And Democrats have the opportunity to use this to help them in defeating Trump in 2020, or they have the opportunity of hurting themselves just by arguing endlessly and publicly about whether there should be any consequences or even potential consequences for what Donald Trump has done, as exposed by the Mueller report. It's a great way to lose yourself another election, and I hope that Democrats get it together and don't go in that direction and go in the direction of being united and saying there have to be consequences, and at minimum, we need a very public debate about whether those consequences should include the filing of articles of impeachment. Not a strategy to remove Trump, but important to be united and to not let this hurt the movement to remove him in 2020. Let me know what you think. We're going to put a poll related to this on the show's Instagram page, which is David Pakman Show on Instagram. And while you're there, follow me on Instagram as well. I'm David.Pakman. I did post this picture from a Passover Seder over the weekend, for which I am getting a lot of hate, which I discussed yesterday on the bonus show. You can check out that picture if you follow me on Instagram at David.Pakman. Quick break, very interesting segment coming up next. If you love learning new things, you probably want to check this out. The David Pakman Show today is sponsored by Skillshare, and we're giving you 2 entire months of free access to Skillshare when you click the link underneath this video. Skillshare is a vibrant online learning community offering more than 25,000 video classes on just about anything you can think of. Get better at playing an instrument. Learn to use Photoshop. How to edit videos. They have classes on drawing, painting, business, cooking, nutrition, personal productivity, and I'm not even really scratching the surface. I recently took a great class on introductory watercolor painting. I'm still not good, but I am learning, and you can access the entire library of fun, easy to use online courses for free for 2 months by using the link underneath this video. 2 months of learning something that's totally new to you, something you want to get better at, something you already love, or you can get ahead in your career by learning new skills that will help you at your job. I've gotten a ton out of it. Pat has taken some courses that he's found really valuable, and I think you'll love it too. Get started for free by clicking the link under this video.